Hi everyone, let's read the paper. I've got the Australian here. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'll be changing it up. It won't always be the Australian. This is just the one in my current rotation at the moment. And the point of this channel is just to slow things down, read something that's tangible, not read news on the internet when there's 8-10 tabs open and I'm just getting constantly distracted by ads and other things that are flashing and changing. I just wanted to get back to a morning routine of going outside, picking up the paper, stepping outside my house, feeling the weather, coming back in and flicking through and seeing what's going on. I just find that an edifying, enjoyable experience. So I thought there was some value in it, and we'll flick through stories as the weeks go by together. The other thing I wanted to do on this channel occasionally is record of the week, because that's another change that I've recently made in order to get off of my phone. I've bought a record player, a turntable and some speakers. So that came last week, and I have been using it pretty much nonstop. When the house is quiet at night, I just flick on a record, and that has helped not be on my phone so much, because the thing that I do now is just sit down and listen to music. Sometimes I work while I'm doing it, sometimes I muck around on the computer while I do it, but mainly I just sit down with a cup of tea or something and listen to music. And it's been cool because I haven't been flicking through songs, half listening to a song, going to the next one, on my phone scrolling. I've just got one album and I play it and I sit down and listen to it. And it's enjoyable to go from start to finish with one thing. The other thing too is that we listen to music at the dinner table at night quite often while we're eating. And if I have this, it means I don't have my phone, which is fantastic. So anyway, this is the album of the week for me, The Smiths, The Queen is Dead. Now, I've only just recently got into The Smiths. I knew a little bit about them. I sort of knew some of their songs, but I didn't know much about them. And from what I had heard, I liked, so I really wanted to get into it. This is their third studio album. It's the 1986 release, The Queen is Dead, and there's some songs that are like a commentary on Morrissey's frustration with the music industry. Morrissey is the lead singer. That's the bassist, Andy Rourke, who's no longer with us, Johnny Marr, the guitarist, and Mike Joyce, the drummer. This is seen by a lot of people as their best album, The Smiths. If you don't know them, they're from the UK, based in Manchester. And their music, a lot of people think it's very depressing, and it is in a way, but it also paints a beautiful picture in a lot of their songs. Cemetery Gates is a great tune. I love that. There's a Light That Never Goes Out. That was very commercially successful. I like that song too. The Queen is Dead is a great start to it. Some people criticise the album because of the sort of novelty songs on it. Frankly, Mr. Shankly and Vicar in a Tutu. I don't like Vicar in a Tutu. I really like Frankly Mr. Shankly. It's grown on me. But this is a great album. If you want to get an idea of what the Smiths are like, this has been great for me, and it's an easy listen from start to finish. Not because it's particularly upbeat or happy, but just because it's really cool. It's a really cool journey to go through from start to finish on this album. So that's the album of the week. All right, that's enough palaver. Let's get into reading the paper. The Australian. What have we got? Snowy River, the demand from Snowy River. That's the the renewable energy project, Snowy 2.0. I won't get into that too much. The tariffs are continuing, obviously. The war between the US and China, between Trump and Albanese, newly elected, is giving... he's just saying, Trump, can we take it easy? Can we just ease up on the tariffs and maybe consider the implications worldwide? That's Albanese's perspective on it. There's a bit on Adam Bandt, the Greens leader, who's lost his seat in Parliament and ostensibly the leadership of the Greens. He's not conceding yet, but there was apparently much rejoicing within the Labor Party when they realised that Bandt was not going to be in Parliament anymore. This one grabbed me, I must say. The alleged mushroom killer, Erin Patterson, is on trial for the deaths of 3 elderly people in Victoria. We know now, beef Wellington, she cooked them. There were apparently the death cap mushrooms in there. But did we need to run with this headline, with a picture of one of the deceased there saying the beef Wellington was delicious? Alleged victim's verdict on meal before falling ill. Yeah, I don't know. That seems a little tacky to me. Let's have a look at what they've got going on here. Where is it? Page 3, it said. Am I missing something here? P3. Academics legal fight. What's this? Ah, this is it. Is it? Doctor concerned for accused's welfare. CCTV shows GP inspecting food from bin. Leongatha doctor photographed samples of beef Wellington fished out of Erin Patterson's bin by police who had been dispatched to her home for a welfare check, the Victorian Supreme Court has said. 2 doctors on Wednesday detailed Miss Patterson's 5-minute hospital visit in which she reported having diarrhoea after hosting lunch for relatives of her ex-husband, before discharging herself against medical advice to do some things for her animals and children. The court heard one of the doctors called Miss Patterson's mobile phone 3 times after she left the premises due to concerns for her well-being, before calling 000 and sending officers to her home to ensure she was safe. She returned to the Leongatha hospital about 90 minutes after leaving. So I don't know what they're trying to imply there, that she... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're getting at there. She returned to the hospital about 90 minutes later, presenting with a high pulse. So she went to hospital as well. That's bizarre, because did she eat any of it? I don't think she ate any of the meal. Anyway, this will run and run. This is currently ongoing. I don't know how many days there are left of the trial, but it's been in the paper every day for the last week and a bit. Should we have a look at the Adam Bandt stuff? Let's have a quick squiz. The Greens leader. The Greens are in crisis and searching for a leader after Adam Bandt became the latest victim of Anthony Albanese's stunning election victory by losing the far left party's stranglehold over the centre of Melbourne. The Prime Minister's extraordinary win at the May 3 poll has seen him knock rivals Peter Dutton and Mr Bandt out of Parliament in a result that was beyond the wildest dreams of even the most optimistic Labor strategist. The Greens will lose at least 3 of its 4 lower house MPs, with only Elizabeth Watson-Brown a chance of winning a tight race in the Brisbane seat of Ryan. Wow. Despite Mr Bandt refusing to concede the seat of Melbourne, that was called in Labor's favour by Sky News and the ABC, Greens senators were in discussions on Wednesday about who could be their new leader. Party sources say South Australian Senator Sarah Hanson-Young, she's a veteran of the party, and Queensland Senator Larissa Waters were considered the most likely to become the next Greens leader. Okay. Interesting. We'll see how that goes. What else is in this paper today? Move that Michael Palin book. What have we got? Cocoon, NDIS facility in some strife. Surgery crisis. What's underpants and angst? A former University of Tasmania Deputy Vice-Chancellor was dismissed from his job in part because he allegedly acted inappropriately in a team Zoom meeting when he made comments about not wearing pants. We've all made that joke, haven't we? And during a separate in-person meeting yelled and hit the desk with his fist or hand, court documents allege. Ian Anderson, who was earning $550,000 when he was quietly let go in December, said his behaviour during that late August 2024 meeting, that's confusingly written, when his colleague spoke loudly and aggressively at him, causing him to tap the table, was symptomatic of his autism spectrum disorder. He claims he begged those staff to stop and reminded them at the time about his ASD, which made him prone to sensory overload and becoming overwhelmed. He said he had previously disclosed his neurodivergence and sensory overload to his direct boss, Vice-Chancellor Rufus Black, and changes were made to his schedule as a result. Okay, so that's an ongoing fight. What do we got? The Book Awards, the Australian Book Industry Awards. Nagi Maharshi on Wednesday night at the Book Industry Awards. All rise for Nagi, our most popular baker. She has taken the cake and eaten it too, winning the prize for the best illustrated book at the Australian Book Industry's Night of Nights. Oh, she's behind Recipe Tin Eats. Now, I don't know if you guys have used that, but my wife uses that all the time, and I have used it a fair bit too. Very popular website. If you look up pretty much anything, I don't know how she's done it, but her search engine optimization is amazing. Any recipe, Recipe Tin Eats will be right up there. She's a star on the internet. It is a little verbose, where you log on and then there's a story about the recipe, although I must say it's not as bad as some other websites, so that's very cool. What else have we got? Farnsey here, John Farnham. Book of the Year winner. Okay, I might have a look at Farnsey's book. I'm trying to read 30, 35 books a year at the moment. I did it last year. I did it the year before, or around that number. I find that 30 is a good amount. It's not too many, but it does require a commitment to reading, but it also broadens my mind a little because inevitably across 30 books you'll go across some topics and areas that you wouldn't normally cover. All right, defiance on legacy Apache choppers. Oh yeah, this is about the Albanese government. They want to spend billions. What is it, was it 5 billion? Is that the number that I saw somewhere on our defence budget? Hang on. I think I read that before. Oh, maybe that was in yesterday's. Oh no, here we go. Yeah, the Albanese government will forge ahead with its plan to buy $5 billion worth of Apache helicopters as the US Army moves to scrap outdated, crude attacked aircraft, including much of its Apache fleet. Okay, US wish to scrap more than 600 of the Boeing-made attack helicopters in favour of autonomous aircraft. Okay, the era of drone war games is here. So we don't need choppers anymore or people in them, according to the US. But Albo is spending $5 billion on them. So we'll see how that ends up. More election stuff. More about Bandt. They do like digging in on the Bandt stuff, don't they? New South Wales Police Commissioner Karen Webb will stand down. She has been in the news for a few reasons over the last year. They've had some horrible things happen over there. What else have we got? Get kids back to class. Principals plea to parents. Let's have a look at school attendance. What have we got? 2019. So this is the percentage of students attending at least 90% of school days. It was 73% 5 years ago, or 2019. Dropped to 59% in 2024. And that's across Indigenous and non-Indigenous population. Primary schools down 13%. So this is not 78% attended, now it's 64%. This is the percentage of kids who went 90% of the time or more. High schools down by 16%. Year 10 the same. Government, Catholic, private. Wow. They're all down. Why? 4 out of 10 Australian students skipped at least a month of classes last year. Wowzers. Okay, post-pandemic, pre-pandemic. So 2019 was obviously pre-pandemic. Well, that's crazy. It concluded, a Senate inquiry into school refusal in 2023 called for extra Medicare rebates for child psychology and more flexible schooling for students struggling to attend class. It concluded that many children were too anxious to go to school as a result of COVID lockdowns, fear of illness and bullying. Right. We will never be for sale. Ongoing Prime Minister of Canada tells Donald Trump. We're into the world section now. I won't read this, but there's a funny clip. Trump and Carney met yesterday. I think it was yesterday. In the White House, and there was the typical back and forth. And then there was a point where Carney tells Trump rather defiantly that Canada, as it says here, will never be for sale. And you just see Trump's typical, he didn't say anything, but the way he just moved his head to the side and just raised his eyebrows slightly was very much his way of saying, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. So he's not letting this one go, Donald. Bessent to meet with Chinese officials over tariffs. So, yeah, Scott Bessent, he's the US Treasury Secretary, and he has sort of been, I would say, the voice of reason, or the public voice that calms the markets when it comes to the tariffs as much as possible. I know things are anything but calm at the moment, but where Trump is more of a firebrand, Bessent, however you'd like to say it, is he's the more calm of the two presences on this issue. So he's meeting with the Chinese officials. China have continued to say this week that they feel as though they're not being listened to and they're not playing the game, or the US is not playing the game. So we will see. India. This was big. India attacked Pakistan on Wednesday. They killed at least 26 people in retaliation for the massacre of tourists in Indian Kashmir in April. Yeah, so if you don't know about that, that was a horrific terrorist attack. There was a a really shocking video. It was blurred out, but it was quite startling, of a man on a zip line. He was just, you may have seen it on Instagram or YouTube. He was on a zip line just enjoying a day to himself or a holiday or whatever, and he's filming himself smiling and laughing as he's going down the zip line, oblivious to the fact that below the terrorist attack has started. And you can see that, yeah, there's carnage in the background. Again, it's blurred out, so it's not too harrowing, but it was just a really eerie moment. Yeah, so clearly this will be ongoing for a little while. India and Pakistan, that's not good. Anything more cheery? What have we got here? What have we got? Fallout for the Liberal Party continues. Peter Credlin and others have been calling Liberal Labor light, and clearly it didn't work. It was not a good campaign from those guys. Puzzles TV guide. What's on the TV tonight? We've got the footy. We've got the rugby. Any movies? What's the movie on tonight? No. See, I swear there used to always be movies on prime time. Nothing on SBS? No movies. Okay, I guess the movies in the paper are a thing of the past now, right? Not in the paper. I mean on free-to-air TV, because no one's sitting down at 7 o'clock to watch a movie when you have Netflix. It's a bit of a shame. I love having the TV guide printed though. I think it's cozy. Even though I'm not going to watch anything that's printed in there, I still think it's pretty cool. Oh, this is not today's paper. What am I doing? That's the other day's paper. Well, I thought I had the business. Oh, here it is. Hang on. Here's the business lift out. Let's go through this quickly. Expectation is the RBA will try and thread the needle to make sure the economy performs right. Rate cuts. CEO of NAB, Irvin, says that house prices to rise further as bank unveils $3.58 billion interim profit. Well, I hope you're a homeowner if that's the case. People should be optimistic about their finances as official interest rates head to a more neutral 3% in the coming months to cushion the economy against a global downturn. Mr. Irvin said the Reserve Bank's flexibility on rates, the official cash rate currently sits at a more constrictive 4.1%, was a positive for borrowers, speaking to the Australian after handing down 1% lift in NAB's interim cash earnings to $3.58 billion. All in all, I think households and businesses should start to feel they're coming out of what has been a really difficult couple of years. Sorry, what's he saying? The flexibility on rates was a positive for borrowers. Is it? I mean, sure, it means you can borrow more, but it also means, as he noted here, that house prices rise. Swings and roundabouts. Anything else in here we need to go through? Here we go. Saw that before. US and Chinese officials meeting for trade talks. Bessent and He Lifeng. How are the markets performing? What have we got here? Canada's up slightly. Oh no, that was down overnight, but pretty much neutral for the year. Germany, look at Germany, up 16% for the year, their stock market over there. Spain up 17%. Hong Kong up 13%. What about the US? US is down. Dow Jones is down 4%, NASDAQ down 9%, S&P 500 down 5% for the year. Interesting. Japan down 7%, New Zealand down 4%. Not much about the Pope in this edition of the paper, which surprises me, because conclave it's underway. It is underway, and there's all sorts of, rumours of infighting and all sorts of stuff, which was inevitable. It was going to happen. Inter beat Barcelona 7-6 on aggregate to go through to the Champions League final. How cool is that? All right. That's the paper for today. That's the record of the week. This is my coffee. And thanks for watching. I'll see you sometime soon.